action.
Hello, boys and girls. This is the course of environmental science, which is meant for BTech third year and fifth semester. The code for this particular subject is AMC 501. As you know, this is the mandatory course of BTech third year, and I am G. Chakraborty from Department of Chemistry, welcoming you to this course of environmental science.
Now, in this lecture, the details have been discussed about different points. But before going into that, let us have a quick recap of the things that we people have seen in the last 11 lectures. Okay, last 10 lectures rather. This is the 11th lecture. Now, if we move towards this particular thing, that what the first 6 lectures were containing. So we will see that the first 6 lectures were about the general environment, where we have briefly discussed about the resources and resistances and biotic abiotic resources and different types of ecosystems that are present on Earth. Apart from this, we have also discussed about the environmental management and the details about different acts taken as a part of environmental management. Okay, so this was the total details about the first 6 lectures, 1 to 6, right? Now, after that, from the 7th lecture, we have come across the new module, the second module, that is air and its pollution. And in this particular module, air and its pollution, we have already come across 4 lectures, right? Total, there are 7 lectures, out of which we have already completed 4. This is the 5th lecture. That means after this lecture, there will be 2 more lectures where different things will be discussed, right? Now, let us see what we people have seen in the last 4 lectures, right? Now, in the 7th lecture, there is part 1 of air and its pollution. We have seen what the components of air are and what is atmosphere and what are the components of atmosphere, that we people have seen in details. Okay. Now, after this, in the immediate second lecture, we have seen what is greenhouse effect, what is global warming, and followed by, in the other 2 lectures, we have seen other topics like pollutants, okay, different type of pollutants, primary, secondary pollutants, and what the criteria pollutants are. And the 6 criteria pollutants we have studied in very detailed way, that how they're caused, what are the effects, what are the sources, how they can be eradicated, how we can control them, everything we have discussed, right? In the last lecture, that is lecture number 10, we have seen what is smog, what are the different types of smog, why smog occurs, what is the history of the smog, how many types of smogs are there, and also we have seen what is photochemical smog, what is London smog. We have seen the differences between them, and we have seen what fatalities they have caused, how they occur, and under what conditions this particular smog is likely to occur, right? Also, we have seen what the main components of this particular smog are, right? Now, after crossing these 10 lectures, today we are here for the part 5 of air and its pollution. Okay. In this particular lecture, let us see what the highlights are. As we can see, this particular lecture contains a very important topic, that is acid rain. Now, what acid rain basically means and what acid rain will give us, right? That things will be briefly discussed in this particular lecture. Also, what are the causes of acid rain? What are the effects of acid rain? That also we people will discuss. Okay, so let's see what is present in this particular lecture, right? This is the main definition of acid rain, where it is clearly stated that acid rain is a rain or any other form of precipitation that is unusually acidic. This is very important, that acid rain is nothing but a rain, but this particular rain is unusually acidic, which means that it has elevated levels of hydrogen ions, that is pH. Now, we know that pH is nothing but negative logarithm of hydrogen ion concentration. pH is equal to minus log concentration of H plus, right? This we people know very well. Okay, this is the definition of pH. And we also know that if pH is more, then acidity will be less. If pH is less, then acidity will be more, right? That's why it is written low pH, since acidity is more. Okay. Now, what this particular thing causes, see, it can have harmful effects on plants, aquatic animals, and infrastructure. Okay. Now, yes, it can have harmful effects on plants, because if acid rain falls on the plant, then the leaves of the plant will be destroyed, the plant nature will be destroyed. If leaves are destroyed, no photosynthesis will be there. The plants will eventually die. Okay. Also, if it falls on the animals, their skin will be torn, and different other types of problems will also be faced. If water is extremely acidic, then it is undrinkable, right? And it is also very harmful for plants, okay, and for those who swim in water. Now, as far as infrastructure is considered, see, acid rain, yes, it damages infrastructure. The best example is the stone cancer of Taj Mahal. You know that Agra has several industries which releases different type of gases in air, due to which there was acid rain in the Agra region, and we know that the heart of India, that is the Taj Mahal, the first wonder of the world, is located in Agra only, right? So what happened basically? Acid rain destroyed some portions of the Taj Mahal. Right now, it has been redeveloped, but the problem is, if acid rain occurs, it creates huge problems. Right. So this is the thing. Now, this particular acid rain is caused by emissions of sulfur dioxide and nitrogen dioxide, which react with water molecules in atmosphere to produce acids. Yes, SO2, SO3. Basically, these are called NOx and SOx. Okay. NOx means oxides of nitrogen, SOx means oxides of sulfur, right? They basically react with air in water is present in the air, results in the formation of acid rain. Okay. In the gas phase, sulfur dioxide is oxidized by the reaction of hydroxyl ions via intermolecular reaction. Okay. What this particular reaction is? SO2 plus OH dot. Now see carefully. Here we are having a dot, right? This dot is nothing but free radical. Okay. We can write using this also. So why I will take that pen. Now this dot is nothing but free radical. Okay. Right. Now, this basically combines to form this product, which is HSO3 dot, right? And this particular product, which is the product of the previous reaction, it becomes the reactant of the next reaction. It combines with oxygen to form H2O dot and SO3. Now here we are having the first culprit. Okay, this one marked in red. Right? Again, this particular thing reacts with water to form this particular thing, H2SO4. So, are you understanding what basically happens? SO3 is present in air, right? When rainfall is this is present in air. Okay. Now, when rainfall is coming, it reacts with water. It reacts with H2O, which comes from rain. Okay. And it results in the formation of this particular thing, which is called carbon dioxide, sulfuric acid. Okay, so it is very, very harmful to us. Next, nitrogen oxides. It occurs in the same way, but it generates nitric acid. Okay, nitrogen generates nitric acid, right? This one. Now here we can see that similar process, just like this particular reaction. NO2 is combining with OH, and it is forming HNO3. Okay. Right. Now, apart from these two acids, HNO3 and H2SO4, there is one more acid which is not that much harmful, but yes, it is also caused during acid rain, and that is nothing but H2CO3, which is, what is the name of H2CO3? Tell me. What is the name of H2CO3? Tell me what is the name? It is nothing but carbonic acid. Okay, always remember H2CO3 is carbonic acid, and it is formed by the action of H2O with CO2. Okay, let's move to the next slide. Now we can see the next slide contains the causes of acid rain. Now, what are the causes of acid rain basically? If we just try to look into the fact, we will see that acid rain basically results when sulfur dioxide, one second, yeah, when sulfur dioxide reacts and nitrogen dioxide, nitrogen oxides react with water that is coming from rain. Basically the funda is like this, that NO2, NO3, right, NOx and SOx, and sulfur dioxides and sulfur trioxides. Okay, so NOx and SOx are basically released into the atmosphere, okay, and they are transported by winds and air currents, right. Now this particular NOx and SOx, they react with water, oxygen and other chemicals present in rain to form sulfuric acid and nitric acid. Then this mix with other chemicals falling before the ground. Okay. Now what will happen if nitric acid and sulfuric acid are formed and they fall on the ground? Then we'll face huge problem, right? Now what type of problem is that? We will suffer from different problems of stone cancer, okay, and several other things like loss of vegetation and effect on human life and loss of drinking water and so on, so and so. Okay. While a small portion of SO2 and NOx that cause acid rain is from natural resources such as volcanoes, most of it comes from burning of fossil fuels. Major sources are in the atmosphere are, okay. So here we'll discuss about the sources. So basically in this particular line, what is told that volcanoes are such things which actually releases this particular gases, but that portion is very small. The rest of the major portion is actually contributed by us and our activities, right? What these things are? Number one is burning of fossil fuels to generate electricity. 2/3 of SO2 and 1/4 NOx in the atmosphere comes from electric power generators. So huge amount comes from the process of electricity generation. Number two is vehicles and heavy equipment that we use. Definitely it causes. Number three, manufacturing, oil refineries and other industries. Number four, winds can blow SO2 and NOx over long distances, making acid rain a problem for everyone, not just those who live close to the sources. So basically it is not like that the local area of the industry will face. It may happen that the wind has blown this particular gases from one area to the other, and when that particular area is having rain, then that rain is becoming acid rain, right? So it is a huge problem. Okay. The other causes includes the oxides of nitrogen, NOx and sulfur dioxide are the two main causes of acid rain, right? So there are two main culprits as we know, right? Let us mark them. Number one is this one, that is NOx. Number two is this one, that is SO2. These are the two main culprits that causes acid rain in our country, right? Okay. So let us move to the next slide. Now here we will see completely how acid rain results in the formation of different problems. Also how sulfur dioxide reacts, what is the reaction of sulfur dioxide, what is the reaction of NOx, and how they affect and how they cause acid rain, right? So these things we are going to see here. Okay. So as we can see, sulfur dioxide basically is a colorless gas released by byproduct when fossil fuels containing sulfur are burnt, right? So fossil fuels, several fossil fuels contain sulfur, we know that very well. Now when these fossil fuels are burnt, right, when they will be burnt, then what will happen? This sulfur dioxide will be formed, right? Basically sulfur in presence of air, it reacts with oxygen actually to form sulfur dioxide. Okay, so as simple as that. Now how it is formed, it is clearly written in the formation part. Let us see what is written here. So we can see that it is written that industrial processes like processing of crude oil, utility factories and iron and steel industries basically results in the formation of sulfur dioxide. Okay. Now natural means and disaster can also result in sulfur dioxide being released in the air, such as rotting vegetation, plankton, sea spray, volcanoes emit 10%. Okay, so in the previous slide it was mentioned that yes, nature also creates nature also releases those gases which results in acid rain, but that portion is very less. Now here the portion has been mentioned that it is only 10%, right? It is only 10% of the total gases that are emitted. And how this 10% comes? It comes from rotten vegetation, plankton, sea spray, and the main source of nature are the volcanoes. Okay. Now, on the whole, industrial combustion is responsible for 69.4% SO2. See, industrial, this particular thing has 69.4. I'm marking again and again in red. Big contribution into the atmosphere. And vehicle transportation is responsible for 3.7%. So try to remember these percentages, that industry results in 69.4%, whereas vehicle results in 3.7%, and the rest is contributed mainly by nature, that is 10%. Okay. So three things we need to remember. One is 69.4, another is 3.7, third one is 10%, right? Now, what is the chemistry behind this particular SO2 and its formation, that we are going to see here, okay? Now, let us see what the chemistry is. When sulfur dioxide reacts with atmospheric moisture, what will happen? It forms sulfate. The SO2 plus O2 will become SO3, right? Now, this SO3 will react with water to form H2SO4. Now, as we people know, H2SO4 is nothing but sulfuric acid, is harmful to us, okay? And sulfur dioxide affects the breathing capacity of lungs, causes permanent damage to them, results in shortness of breath, asthma, recurring cough. Some of the major problems are related to exposure, related to content exposure of this gas. See, shortness of breath, asthma. I am actually thinking about coronavirus whenever I am seeing about this particular symptoms, because breathing capacity of lungs is affected in coronavirus presence in the body. Shortness of breath is one of the major symptoms. Asthma is another symptom. Recurring cough is another. So basically, coronavirus symptoms and this symptoms of SO2 inhalation, somehow they have something in common, right? Okay, so I think you can easily remember this, because these symptoms are nowadays in air, right? So let us go to the next slide. Now, as we can see that we have already completed the oxides of sulfur part. Now we are having oxides of nitrogen. Okay. Now this oxides of nitrogen, there is a nitrogen oxide, is another major component of acid rain. As we will know that we have seen, basically there are two components. One is oxides of sulfur and another is oxides of nitrogen. Okay. Now oxides of sulfur basically means SO2, right? Sulfur dioxide, and we have discussed about SO2 in brief. Now we have come up with the oxides of nitrogen. Okay. Now here we'll discuss about the oxides of nitrogen, and we'll see that how this particular thing affects and how this is formed, and how, what is the chemistry behind this particular thing, okay, in terms of acid rain. So let us start on the oxides of nitrogen part, and we will see that whenever we are moving in this particular thing, we are seeing that nitrogen oxide is another major component of acid rain. Yes, we have seen that nitrogen compounds contain oxygen atoms known as oxides of nitrogen, that is NOx. So also we have discussed about this particular thing again and again. Okay, now how this NOx are formed. They are produced in combustion process, okay, and which involve extremely high pressure. See, to remember this combustion process, which involves extremely high temperature. For example, utility plants, automobiles, and chemical industries, such as production of fertilizers. Yes, see, production of fertilizers basically includes the formation of N, P, and K, that is nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. So whenever fertilizer plants will be there, they will have a major role in this particular thing, release of nitrogen in the air, right? There will be a major role that will be played by them. Okay. Now, as we can see that 5% nitrogen oxide is emitted by natural resources, by lightning and volcanic eruption, forest fire, etc., etc. Okay. Now, here also we need to remember these things very well, that 5% is caused by the natural processes, right? 32% is caused by the industrial processes, and 43% majority is caused by vehicular transportation. Okay, so vehicles release maximum oxides of nitrogen, followed by industries, followed by nature, right? Okay, we have to remember these 3 percentages: 5% from nature, 32% from industry, and 43% from vehicles. Okay. Now, what is the chemistry behind this particular thing? Let us see. While reacting with the atmospheric moisture, Nitrogen oxide undergoes oxidation to form nitrous. Okay, NO2 reacts with H2 to form HNO3 plus HNO2. See, nitrous oxide, nitric oxide, both are present. Nitrous acid and nitric acid, sorry. Nitrogen oxide, which is dangerous gas in itself, causes damage to respiratory organs by attacking the membranes in them. Right, so nitrogen oxide is very dangerous. It destroys the membranes present in our lungs. Chance of respiratory disease. Also causes smog, plays crucial role in ozone layer. Nitrogen oxide can be carried away from its original place by emission. Okay, so this is very light gas. That's why if there is a wind, then definitely it can be carried away to some other place, right? Okay, now let's move to the next slide. And these are the effects of acid rain on different objects and all, right? Let's see what these effects are. So acid rain seeps into the earth. Be very careful while discussing about this. We will discuss individually the effects on plant life as well as on animal life. Okay, so acid rain seeps into earth and poisons plants, right? So acid rain will penetrate into the soil, right? Whenever acid rain occurs, it will penetrate into the soil, and thereby it will create poison for the plants and trees. Okay, why? Because it will make the toxic substance dissolve in soil, right? Now this is a very important thing, that why acid rain whenever it comes to the ground it is a problem, because we know that on touching to the ground it's actually its concentration decreases, so it should be less harmful. But no, it is very harmful, because what will happen, acids can make different elements melt in them, dissolve in them, and whenever acids rain are coming to the soil, then what will happen, the different toxic substances such as aluminium will be absorbed by the roots, because they will be dissolved by the acid. Okay, now this rain also dissolves beneficial minerals and nutrients in the soil, which are then washed away before the plants and trees have a chance of using them in order to grow. Okay, so khaya piya kuch nahi, class thora parana, right? So before the plants and trees use the nutrients that are present in soil, these nutrients are dissolved by the acid rain and the acids, right? And from there they are washed away. Okay, so the trees will be starving, plants will be starving for the nutrients, so the nutrients will not come to them because they have been washed away, okay, due to acid. Now when there is a frequent acid rain, it corrodes the waxy protective coating of leaves. This is what I was talking about, that if the leaves are destroyed, then what will happen? No photosynthesis, there will be damage to the plants, disease to the plants, and the plants will eventually die. Okay, so when there is frequent acid rain, it corrodes the waxy protective coating of the leaves. When this protective coating of leaves is lost, then what happens? It results in making the plant susceptible to disease. Okay, so easily disease can attack. Due to damaged leaf, plants lose the ability to produce sufficient amount of nutrition which is needed to its healthy state. Yes, this is nothing but photosynthesis. Okay, the plant is unable to do photosynthesis, and hence its survival is now a question. Okay, now this was all about the plants and the effect of acid rain on the soil, right? What about animals? What about us? See, acid rain also affects the aquatic organisms adversely. How? High amount of sulfuric acid in seawater interferes the ability with the fish to take nutrients like salt and oxygen. Okay, if a large amount of acids are present in water, then what will happen? Fishes will be unable to take oxygen from the water, right? As far as fresh water is concerned, in order to stay them alive, they need to balance the amount of minerals and salts in the tissues. Molecules of acid results in mucus forming in their gills, which prevents them from absorbing oxygen in adequate amounts, right? So what will happen? See, the marine organisms, marine fishes, they will face different problem, and freshwater fishes will face different problem. Now in freshwater fish, what happens? The molecules of acid, they results in mucus formation in the gills. Once the gills are having mucus, then what will happen? The oxygen absorbing capacity of the gills will decrease. Okay, so the plants will face breathing problem. Not plants, the fishes will face breathing problems. See, have you ever thought of this particular fact that fishes can also have breathing problem, right? We are only concerned about us. Any animal can have breathing problem, right? And fish is nothing but an animal. Plus the acidity which produces the pH level causes the imbalance of salt in tissues of fish, which Change in pH level also impairs some of the fish's ability to maintain their calcium levels. Okay. In turn, affects the reproduction process of fish. So what will happen? The pH, if it is changed, if it is decreased due to acid, then what will happen? The fishes from the fish's body, the calcium will be decreased, right? And their ability to maintain the balance will be destroyed. What will happen? They will not undergo reproduction. Now, if fishes are not undergoing reproduction, then what I will eat in the lunch and dinner? What you will eat in the lunch and dinner? Because being a Bengali, fish is our staple food, na? Mache bhate Bangali. So without fishes we cannot live, right? So production of fish is very important for us. So if acid rain occurs, then reproductive capacity of the fishes will be damaged or destroyed, and lack of calcium also causes deformed bones and weakened spines on fish, right? So we are only concerned about our bones and we are not concerned about the bones of fish, but here it is clearly mentioned that we should be concerned about the bones of fishes, right? Now, on the man-made objects and human beings, what type of effects are there? See, man-made objects are actually harmed. Acid rain damages man-made structures. For example, acid rain dissolves sandstone, limestone, marble. See, acid rain dissolves marble. That's why what happened? Stone cancer was seen on Taj Mahal, right? It also corrodes ceramic, textile, paints, etc., etc. Rubber and leather deteriorates if exposed to acid rain. Stone monuments and carvings lose their shine when exposed to the contaminated rain. Now, there is a reason actually. Suppose if HCl rain occurs, what will happen? The calcium present in calcium carbonate rain, there is stone, it will react with HCl to form calcium chloride. So what will happen? The upper coating will go off and the shiny layer will be out, right? That's fine. Okay, on humans, how it affects? Most of us actually suffers from acid rain adversely. It can harm us by environmental and soil pollution. Okay, acid rain leads to formation of toxic compound by reacting with naturally occurring chemical compounds. This enters our body into the drinking water and other by food. It will enter the food chain and then it will start creating problem. Now, this particular food can create problem of nerves in children. It can cause severe brain damage and eventually death. Okay. Now, scientists suspect that aluminium is one of the metals affected by the acid rain associated with Alzheimer's disease. Okay. Now, emission of nitrogen and carbon dioxide causes problem like irritation of throat. Now, these are additional. This is free. Okay. Acid rain has several free options like that in different shopping malls. There are free options whenever we buy something during puja and all. Right. Puja 15th August and different days. Right. So this type of things. Whenever you are getting acid rain, different type of problems will occur, and throat, nose, eye irritation, headache, asthma, this will be free along with dry cough, right? So be happy with the acid rain if you are having. Right? So we need to control this. Otherwise, what will happen? This type of problem we will face. Okay, right? So what we need to do? We need to control the emissions of this particular NOx and SOx, and then only we can control the acid rain. Okay, otherwise not, right? So this was all about acid rain, its causes and effects. Now in the next lecture we'll see some more topics, right? Again, I am telling that 2 more lectures are there in this air part, and after that we'll start the water part. Okay, so stay home and stay safe and stay healthy and save environment, right? See you in the next lecture. Thank you.